So we are going to make a Notan collage, which is a paper cutout. Notan is the word for contrast in light and dark from Japanese. So ideally you need a piece of black paper or card and a larger piece of white paper or card. I would suggest that you use paper if you have it, because it will be easier to cut out. The first thing that you'll need to do is, taking a ruler, you are going to measure in your darker piece of paper a 10 centimetre square. So I'm going to start at the corner because that means that I'll have less cutting out to do, and I'm going to measure 10 centimetres. Then I'm going to measure 10 centimetres in this direction as well, and this is going to look quite small to you, but you'll understand why we're using quite a small piece of paper later on. So make sure that you're drawing a nice straight box. So there's my 10 centimetre square box. I'm going to very carefully, trying to make sure that I'm cutting on straight lines, cut out my square box. There we go. Now, if you don't have black paper or card, and maybe you have coloured paper or you have brown paper from an envelope, you can use that instead. It's just to have some contrast between your white or light background. Equally, if you don't have white paper, you could use a light coloured surface like a table or a kitchen worktop to lay your design out on and photograph it instead of gluing it down onto paper. I'm lucky and I do have black card, so the first thing you're going to do on your small square, using a sharp graphite pencil, is you are going to draw a pattern. Okay, so I'm going to try and zoom in slightly here so that you can see what I'm doing a bit better. So it can be any pattern, it can be straight lines, squiggly lines, any shape that you like. So let's start by just doing some squiggly lines like this. Then inside that I'm going to do a circle. Try and do shapes inside shapes, because it's going to make your final result much more interesting. Okay. Now I could do a shape inside there even, but I'm not going to just yet. I'm going to see how my composition looks at the end. Try and make sure that you're working into the centre of the picture. I would turn a bit of paper around and draw shapes from the outside edge on every side. So I've drawn my shapes on this side, I've drawn my shapes on this side. Now I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to work into the centre from this side as well. I'm going to start adding in some straight lines just to provide an interesting contrast to the lines I've already done. Maybe I'll do some triangles. Maybe I'll make this one square just for a change. Now I've still got this bit of blank space at the bottom here, so I'm going to add in something here. Maybe a triangle, and why not, let's do another circle. Okay, I'm quite happy with that composition. I've filled up the page quite nicely. Now, am I going to be brave and decide to do something in here? Well, maybe I'll leave that until the next step and see if I need some extra shapes inside these shapes. So the next stage is going to be cutting out these shapes that you've drawn. I'm going to change to time-lapse so that you can quickly see me doing that. As I cut them out, you're going to see that I'm going to arrange them around my square of paper so that I can remember where they need to go. I'm going to flip them over to create contrast between light and dark. So let's watch that happening now.